everybody. Welcome to the Greg Kampe Show. Another season underway. We are live at Patti Finnegan's back on campus. He's a Coach Greg Kampe. My name is Neil Rule, and Camp, we're here on campus. By the way, a couple milestones. Year number 10 of the Greg Kampe Show.
Really? It's been 10 years?
10 years of the Greg Kampe Show.
I see the same faces for 10 years. So great to see everybody, and glad we're back. And looks like it's going to be a great place to have it. It's on campus, and the food looks really good too. So we need some students to come on out. Although we're packed tonight, so I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. They got the burgers are going, the tacos are going, the pizza's out there, the drinks are flowing, and as you said, Camp, a full room here, and we're excited. Remember, if you want to get involved live with the show, you can jump on X, use the hashtag AskCampy. We get to all the questions that we can. That comes first, Camp. We get to you answer every single question all the time here on the fastest growing radio show on this station at this time, Camp. So
number one rated show
for 10 years.
Yep.
10 years rated number one on this station at this time. So we're here doing it. But Camp, it's good to be back. It's good to be back. Good to see all the Golden Grizzlies fans out here too at Patti Finnegan's, and we got a new home camp, and it feels good to be back.
Yeah, it really does, and I think we got a really good basketball team, so it could be a really, really exciting year, and our show should be a good show every week. There'd be a lot of questions of why did I screw this up and screw that up. So.
Well, Camp, let's get into it. It is the first show. Last night, certainly the pressing news and of the day, UCF escapes with an 87-83 win over us last night. Camp, we trailed by 15 in the second half, and it wasn't looking very good until it was. Golden Grizzlies come back. They get a lead in the second half, ultimately before some heartbreak.
Well, at Purdue, this kind of the same thing happened. We made a mistake at the end of the half against Purdue, and Brody Robinson's going to be on. He's supposed to be here, but he's not here yet. But he'll do the guest segment that we always have at 6:15. And I told Brody to foul. We were up 3. Purdue had the ball with like 8 seconds to go, and we had 2 fouls to give, and I called Brody over and I said, I want you to foul. As soon as Smith crosses half court, foul him. And then I told Nassim to make a foul on the second dribble once they bring it in, and there'll only be 1 second left, and we'll get out of the half up 3. And Brody goes and fouls him as he crosses half court, but this is what playing at this level's about. What he didn't understand, hey, Brody, what he didn't
that's wild that he walked in here right at that time.
Yeah. What he didn't understand is when you're in a Big Ten arena and you're going to foul, you need to knock him on their butt, and he went up and grabbed him, and the referees didn't call it, and the rest of the guys kind of stopped, and they threw it to a kid in the corner, and he made a 3. So they had all the momentum in the world to come out and start the second half. We come out, we run a play and get a layup to go back up 2, and then Braden Smith, the preseason player of the year in the country, goes on a run, and Purdue gets up double digits, and within 3-4 minutes we were back ahead. And so when we did that, that was a real indicator of how talented of a team we have, but more important of how we can play and how we can take negative things, bad things, and turn them into good things. Because in this game, there's always going to be a run that's going to go against you. There's bad things out there behind around every corner. There's something bad that's going to happen. And how you handle adversity and how you play just through 4-minute segments in games are going to determine how good your team is. And so we've proven now that we can handle, we've played Michigan, I think, who's 5th in the country. We played Purdue, who was number 1. And then they dropped to 2 because we played them so good. And then we played Houston, who became number 1. And then Purdue goes to Alabama and wins. Michigan is undefeated. Purdue is undefeated. Houston is undefeated, and Central Florida has 1 loss. So, you look at the teams we've played, not only are they 1, 2, and 5, and then Central Florida, but they're like 19-1.
Right.
And in Defiance, I know that you're supposed to beat Defiance. They were 3-0 coming in here.
They hadn't trailed in a game coming in.
Yeah, they had not trailed in a game. And somebody called me on the phone and said, you played the worst team in the country. And I said, well, they were 3-0. And his answer was, well, you played the 4th worst team in the country.
Well, least he's consistent.
Yeah. So, even though that's a little lower competition, they still were undefeated and had not, you think about that, not to have trailed in a game. So, I think the combined record of the teams we've played is something like 20 and with the loss to Defiance, 22 or 3. So, we played the toughest schedule maybe ever for the first 2 weeks of a season any team in the country's played. And we feel really good about ourselves. We've done it without a kid that we think is one of our better players. And it hurt us not having him, not because he's one of our better players, because we got a lot of really good players, but because of what he brings to the table is rebounding and toughness. And, when you play at Houston and you play at Purdue and you play at Michigan, those are really important parts of the game, the rebounding and the toughness and battling. And the people that were at the game, I'm not sure you can even see on TV how big and strong, some of these guys we played last night were, and some of those guys Houston was unbelievable, the strength and the speed and athleticism that they play with. And so when you have a guy that could match that and he doesn't play, it hurts you. Now, I'm not going to say we would have won. We might have won last night if Michael had played, but I'm not going to say that was the difference between winning and losing, but in some instances it could have really helped us having him. So we feel great about ourselves. We put hard in front of our team, and we ask them to embrace hard, and they've embraced it. And I think getting on the plane we got up at 3 o'clock in the morning to get to the airport. But watching them, but watching them, I felt that there's an air of confidence about them, which is what I've really tried to instill through this, is keep their confidence and believe in themselves, because we think we're really good.
And for the people that are lining up their questions on X right now, and you can get involved with the hashtag #AskKampe, and don't forget the Greg Kampe Show, brought to you by Henry Ford Sports Medicine. But and that's really the gist of what a lot of people are talking about. There is a lot of excitement out there, and justifiably so. When you look at some of the performances that we've seen, and I'll start with Isaac Garrett. Camp, this is a theme now. You're talking 20 points at Michigan. You're talking 20 points against Houston. You're talking about what he did last night as well, having 23 points with 7 rebounds and a couple of assists.
And a stupid technical foul.
He's the coach, everybody. So that's it's true. It's true.
He learned from that. And that game, if you watch that game last night, there was a lot. You would have thought that we were arch rivals or something. But 2 players on that team, we ended their season last year, and as they said in their post-game press conference, they took the game personal. They had Central Florida wanted to really win last night, and it got very physical and a lot of chirping going on. And Isaac learned a lesson because he had to sit the last 6 minutes of the first half because he picked up a technical foul by chirping at their bench. And it was his 3rd foul. So, a lot of times you can teach and talk, but having the experience of it is really the best, the best way to teach and learn. And so I'm sure he learned his lesson. But in what you're saying, you think about last night, Brett, he had only been playing about 11, 12 minutes a game, and he got it going, and he played close to 30 last night.
Right.
And that's your 7th, 8th man. And that's what I've said about this team, is we're so deep that there's going to be nights a guy that's only playing 10 or 12 minutes a game is going to get 20. We got probably 9 guys on the team that can score 20, 25 in a game. And I've never had that before. And all those great teams and all the pros and all the things we've had here, we've never had a team this deep. And that's why I am so excited, and that's why I talked that this could be one of our best teams ever, because we can really score the ball. I just told Steve Waterfield this. Think about this stat. At Michigan, at Purdue, at Houston, at Central Florida, and 1 home game against the non-D1, and we've made more free throws than our opponents have shot.
That's an insane stat, by the way, Camp, given the track record of teams we played.
And given the way the game's played, and when you play on the road, normally the team you're playing is going to shoot more free throws. And when you play a power 5 on the road, you're not going to get calls. And the way we play offense and where we can score from every spot on the floor, we can score from. And we can get to the rim from every spot on the floor. We're going to shoot a lot of free throws this year. And teams that shoot a lot of free throws and make them, we're shooting, last night we were 22 of 26. Missed 2 big ones down the stretch if we were going to win. But we were 22 of 26, and if we continue at the rate we're shooting, 78 to 82%, which is tops in the country, if you shoot 80% from the free throw line, you're going to be top 3 or 4 in the country, and you shoot a lot of them, you're going to win a lot of games. So I really like the way that, if we had played a crappy schedule and we were 4-0 and not played anybody and we had that number, we'd be all going, well, that's a good sign. But we've done that against the best. 2 number 1 teams in the country, we've done it against the best. And so if we do it against the best, surely in our league and when we're fighting in February and March, that should be a really good sign for us.
And Camp, I guess getting back to it and the style of basketball, obviously, that we played against. That's kind of my main question, Camp. You and I have talked about this a little bit. Not only have we played like the best teams in the nation, it's teams that literally are different. A is different than B, than different is C. The way Houston plays is not the same as Purdue plays, which is not the same as Michigan. You guys have literally seen it all in 5 games, 4 games. Like, you've literally seen everything there is in college basketball.
Yeah, and it's been good defensively for us. Our zone is really, the learning curve was really quick, and we did some really good things defensively last night. Now the problem when you play the top teams in the country is the size and the rebounding, and without Michael, which is why I think some of, when I say it could have really helped us, is because if he gets 7-8 rebounds, that's 4 of those were ones that we didn't get, that the other team got, and off you can play the greatest defense in the world, but if they shoot it up there and they get it back and lay it in, it doesn't look like you're playing good defense. So I'm really pleased with the way the zone is. We were terrible against Michigan in it, but we expected to be. When you bring 11 new guys in and you play a goofy defense and you play one that's really, it takes intelligence, it takes reps, it takes seeing things. It's really important to take the all the scouting work we do, all the practice work, that carries over into a game. And you never know with your team if they can do that. And what we're seeing is we're getting better and better at that. Like last night, we kept the ball. We wanted to keep it out of their 2 bigs' hands at 12 to 14 feet. Normally, Arizona, we want you to throw it in there. Last night, we didn't because they were such a great 3-point shooting team that they would throw it in and kick it out. And by halftime of that game, we were doing an unbelievable job of it, which just shows the growth of the team in the defense. They still got too many, they had 16 offensive rebounds, which is too many. But they're 7'2", 6'10", and athletes. They're not just, Defiance had a 6'11" guy out there, but he wasn't like their guy, right?
Right.
So, there's going to be a learning curve, and I'm really pleased that where we're at with that. And I will also tell people this: the practice facility has made a huge difference for us in that learning curve. I'll give you an example. Something bad happened at the university. I don't even know what it is. I just heard about it, and they had to they are shutting down the arena for a week, right? And if we didn't have the practice facility, I'd be on the phone begging Rochester High School, Rochester College to let us come and practice, right? And now because of just a natural thing happened that happens to every university, we have a place to go practice. And it's made it so much easier for us. The film room has made it so much easier for us to teach. And, Brody's generation, they learn through visual. They don't, I can yell and scream all I want and say this and say that, but most of them, it goes right by them because they grow up playing video games. They grow up, everything's in front of them on a screen. And now having that film room has made such a huge difference for us in our growth. And that's another reason I'm so excited about it, right, is because where we're at today versus last year at this time with this revolving roster, it's unbelievable, the difference. And you saw it last night. We had a 15-0 run. A 15-0 run
in a Big 12 gym.
And during that 15-0 run, we got all the rebounds. You know, the difference between earlier when they were scoring is they would get a rebound and score, or get a rebound and they'd get on the ground and they kick it out and the guy would get a wide open three. But during that 15-0 run, we got the rebounds too. And you saw how good we were defensively during that time. And that'll just continue to grow and get better. And that's the excitement of it, man.
One last one here before we do bring Brody on, Camp. You talked about how deep your team is and the ability to score the ball and how deep the scoring is. And you don't, and that's been the history. You've never really ran. As far as depth, you've never really ran like that before. And you talked about Brett White last night, who really was one of the catalysts to bring us back in that basketball game, just the ability to knock down shots. So I know the returns are early, Camp. How do you like it? Because Brett gets hot, you can just ride with him out there and you can just address it when he doesn't knock down a shot eventually. You can kind of ride the hot hand, I guess is what I'm getting at.
Well, through the statistics at this time of the year, if you would have said to me before November 2nd, we're going to look at your 5-game statistics, I would have said don't do that because of who we're playing.
Please don't do that.
Right? It's going to be really ugly, but it's not. And we have 5 guys averaging in double figures, and we have a 6th guy averaging 9.5, and he's a starter, and he's only averaging 9.5 because he went 0 for the world last night. You think about that. We lose 87-83 last night, and probably our best shooter. Brett and Nassim are probably equal, but Nassim has been over the years so far. Went in the game 44% from the 3. He was 0 for 7. He had a tough night. Baru had a tough first half. Coy is still struggling to learn and play at that level, and yet there we were able to win. Right in there, in a position, have a chance to win the game. And so I don't think you're going to see Nassim go 0 for 7 very often. And but because we have so many players on a night that he does, we don't need it. Well, somebody else is going to step up, and that's when you have a really good team.
All right, Camp, let's do this, and let's take the very first break. When we come back, Brody will join the show. This is the Greg Kampe Show. We're live at Patti Finnegan's on the campus of Oakland University at the golf course. Here on the campus of Oakland University, and what a great turnout here. The Golden Grizzlies fans are rolling out, and right now, as promised, we are joined by Brody Robinson here at Patti Finnegan. And Brody, before we get into basketball and your background and everything, how about this crowd out here, man?
Awesome.
It's electricity, huh?
Yes, sir. Of course. Feels like home.
Absolutely. So, Brody, And I do want to talk to you about your background and what brought you to Oakland, and certainly it's a different time and space in college basketball, and what attracted you to be here at Oakland. But I want the people to know this about you, and this is something you and I talked about at dinner when we were in Houston playing the Cougars.
Yeah.
And I saw it again last night, and Brody, I just got to tell you, I love the way that you play basketball.
Thank you.
And last night, and for those, and look, last night against UCF, you had John Ball out there, who's 7'2" or 7'3" or whatever it was. Jermichael Stillwell, who Golden Grizzlies fans know, who's an absolute machine out there on the basketball court. When you show up to these games, Brody, you know Camp was talking about how the whistle's going to go. When Camp didn't say it, and I'm not saying that I'm speaking for you here, I'm just saying a tendency that I noticed. When we play these Power 4 and Power 5 games, fouls always seem to be 5-1. By the 10-minute mark, that's just the way that it goes. But you know that going in. And Brody, you don't care how big the people are. You don't care what the size is. Brody, I just got to tell you, man, I really respect that about the way you play, man. You go hard all the time. Why do you go so hard?
Growing up with an older brother, probably. Just always competing in the front yard. It just installed something into me, and all credit to him. He always used to make me so mad, and I would do anything to get him in trouble. But I think just comes from a competitive nature and wanting to win in anything I do.
So Brody, let's talk about it. Just the background on you. You're from Houston, Texas. Went to school about 30 minutes outside of downtown Houston.
Yeah.
And I got to ask you, man, what was that like when you're out there on the floor? You're in your hometown because you had banged up your shoulder, and there was concerns that you weren't going to play.
Yeah.
And I asked you about it because we're sitting at dinner. I'm like, Brody, you going to give this a go? He's like, I'm not playing in my hometown, man.
Right.
You were going out there. How was that for you?
It was a great experience. I had a lot of family come, a lot of family friends. My mom and my dad did a great job of just getting people out there to come and support me. And even though the result wasn't what I wanted individually and as a team, it was just really cool to play in front of people that saw me growing up, saw me since I was a baby, and it was just a really good experience.
What brought you to Oakland? You were a transfer. You were at Chattanooga. You went to Garden City Community College last year at University of Texas Arlington. What brought you to Oakland?
Coach Kampe and Coach Bobby. Coach Bobby actually recruited me at Garden City my sophomore year, and then left to take this job. So I think it was definitely a full circle moment. And then obviously Coach Kampe, Hall of Fame coach, and he just has a lot of trust in me and confidence in myself. And I had a phone call with him after the season, and he was just telling me everything I wanted to hear. I don't know if that was just because, but no.
I mean, how was it played out? It's played out that way.
It's played out exactly how he said, and I trust him with everything, and I'm just very, very comfortable being in the system of Oakland basketball and just playing under Coach Kampe and learning more every single day, on and off the court, and it's just a great feeling to have.
Talking Brody Robinson here on the Greg Kampe Show. So Brody, there was a moment in the game last night, and we were tilting a little bit. I think we were down 12 at the time. There was a scrum for the basketball that went out of bounds, and they called it UCF's ball. And you popped up right away, and because I had a great view of it, you popped up right away, and you came running over to Camp. You're like, Camp, you have to challenge us.
Yeah.
Camp, you have to challenge us. I'm telling you, it was off them. In Camp, he thought about it for a split second, and then without looking at a monitor or anything, went right in and challenged it. And Brody, I talked about it on the broadcast last night. I truly believe that moment changed the dynamic of the basketball game, because all of a sudden we go on a 15-0 run and take the lead after that.
I would agree, and I was thinking about it. That was probably my favorite play of the game, and that just shows the relationship me and Coach Kampe have, and just his trust in me. And I think that's the second one I won this year. But
You're 2-0?
I'm 2-0. I'm 2-0 with challenges, but I had a good angle at it, and I saw Corey on the ground, and I just saw the dude hit the ball out of bounds, and I was just begging Coach Kampe, I was like, please challenge it. And I know how important every possession is in these games, and like you said, it flipped the switch, I think, and it helped us, and it gave us momentum, and then we went on that run, and it just sparked something.
What is that? And I guess you kind of touched on this a little bit, but your relationship with Coach Kampe, ultimate trust, because you get a finite number of challenges, and if you lose one, you lose a timeout. And Brody, I think you've learned this about Camp. He's a timeout hoarder.
Yeah, right? we only had 2 left at that point. Yeah, so right. If we would have lost that challenge, we probably would have had 1, and then I probably would have heard some crazy things. But I'm just glad he trusted me.
No, but that's the relationship, though. Like Greg Kampe, and I think you feed off it. Greg Kampe trusts his players when you're out there on 100%. The floor, and you saw what you saw. That's got to feel pretty good, especially in this day and age of college basketball.
Very
relationship.
Good. Very good, very special, and I think you got to do things to gain that trust, and I feel like I'm going to continue to do things to gain that trust. Obviously, 2-0 challenges, but
I'll put that in my little stat.
You should.
Yeah, it's 2-0 in challenges.
But no, I mean, me and Coach Kampe talk before practice, talk after practice, and just a very calm guy. And then it gets to game time, and then you just not as calm. But I think when push comes to shove, Kampe always has my back, and I always have Kampe's back. And I told him in that game that about I made a mistake. I missed Brett wide open, and I told him to make it back. And I think we got a couple stops, and I hit a 3. And I think he believes in me, and it feels really good.
What's Brody like off the court? It's funny. You seem kind of laid back, like just in the in the way you walk. You have like a laid back walk to you and everything like that. What do you like off the floor?
I like to golf, and I think that's something me and Coach Kampe talk about a lot too.
You're in the right spot here, by the way.
Yeah, no, I came here so much in the summer with teammate Nate, and then also Zaire.
There's a big golf team. The Oakland basketball team.
It really is, and I think I just started playing this summer, so I'm not the best, but I did shoot 89. So that was
you just started playing this summer and you shot an 89 already?
July, yeah. No lessons, me and Nate were just out here grinding, and I really enjoyed it. I mean, the weather was beautiful. Obviously, being from Texas, the summer in Texas is awful, so you walk outside and sweat. So being able to play golf here in the summer, it was beautiful.
It is. Like the summers here, golf here is unmatched too, by the way. Our courses are way better than the courses
in Texas. 100%. The greens here are amazing. Like you go to Texas and it's just like dirt on the greens.
Ashley, you getting all this here? You got to record this and play this when you put people on hold here at the golf course. Yeah. we're talking golf with Brody Robinson. Yeah. No, but Brody, this basketball team and the pieces that you have in place, we got Kampe's thoughts on it. Mm-hmm. What about your thoughts? We've seen every style of college basketball. Just kind of going back to what we were talking about with Camp. You've seen it all already. We're 4 or 5 games in. Mm-hmm. I don't want to say like what's the ceiling for this basketball team, but what do you think that you guys are capable of?
I think this team is capable of anything we kind of put our mind to. I think the only way that we can lose is if we beat ourselves. I mean, obviously in the first 5 games we played for 2 Big 10, 2 Big 12 teams, and then 2 number 1 and 1 number 5, or whatever Michigan is. But I think with this team, it's rare in today's world, but the chemistry we have off the court, the chemistry we have on the court, we're always hanging out as a group, and just some really good group of guys and really good group of basketball players. And I think we all have the common goal of winning and wanting to win, and I think that's the most important thing. And I think I told my dad this I think we might be the best 1-4 team in the country. Like,
yes.
Everybody on the team has confidence. Everybody knows that we can win any game we play, and I think if we continue to have that mindset, we'll be okay.
Well, Brody, I know you have that mindset. Again, just going back to what I saw last night, and you knew they're not going to call 3 fouls in a row on a home team when we go into a gym like that, and you knew contact was coming, and we were going towards our bench, and you came across midcourt to get the ball, and their big kind of flashed out to you, and he bumped you, like he gave you a little hip check, you bounced off him, you came into another defender, it was kind of right in front of the bench, and you just kept moving. I respect the hell out of you, man, like the way you play basketball, man. It is for real. Brody Robinson, everybody, we will take a break, and if you want to get involved with the show, jump to X with the hashtag AskKampe. This is the Greg Kampe Show. at Patti Finnegan's on the campus of Oakland University. He is a Coach Greg Kampe. My name is Neil Rule. Happy to have everybody out here with an incredible crowd out here at Patti Finnegan's. I did want to say thank you to some people as well. Paul Hess, Tony Fontan, the Golf and Learning Center, Ashley Dooling as well. Of course, Ashley does a great job out here with two of the best golf courses in Michigan.
Absolutely.
That's fact.
Absolutely.
Ask anybody in the golf world. These are two of the best golf courses.
Bill Rogers and his wife Marsha. Bill ran this place for 1,000 years, maybe 1,003. You know, so it's great to see him, and I'm reading his name up on the wall and everything. So I'm kind of excited about this move in here. I wasn't sure, but seeing tonight everybody here and the food looks fantastic. So yeah, this is going to be great.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, our athletic director Steve Waterfield of the Grizzlies pregame show fame is out here with his wife Jamie as well. Tremendous golfer. We've done some scrambles.
She
and played very well. Yes, she is. No, Jamie is.
Yeah.
Steve is not. Steve is not. And that's it. Here. All right, let's move on. You ready to answer some questions here on X? All right, we got a ton of them getting in there, so if you want to jump in there, now is the time to do it. Just use the hashtag AskKampe on X. And Camp, I like to do this on our very first show of the year because there's always a question that comes like after the season, like after we're done. And at Lakers 24 Andrew on X, this was March 9th, I want to say, after we were done with the Kampe show, just randomly tweeted, all you have to do is ask Kampe, which is true, right? That's all you have to do. That's all they put, yeah. Well, it's more instructional, I guess. All right, you want to lead off with Pittsburgh Marty?
Yesterday was Pittsburgh Marty's birthday, and he texted me before the game saying, please win for my birthday. And we almost did. The funny thing about that is that when we met him the first time was years ago. We played Pitt on his birthday, and we blew an 8-point lead in the last minute of the game and lost in overtime. And I guess that's when he became a fan of ours. So, because we screwed his birthday up that day, too.
All right, well, Pittsburgh Marty, hashtag AskKampe. Thanks for having us out to see the new facility last July. Looking forward to ringing in the new year when you visit Youngstown State. After 5 games, Kampe, I'm wondering, number 1, what has been your biggest pleasant surprise? Number 2, what is an area where you need to see the most work?
Well, I think rebounding, is going to be the determining factor on how great our season is. We've got some great athletes that can rebound, but they're used to rebounding because they're just better than everybody. And in the zone, you can't do that. You just can't run in and jump and try and get the ball. You've got to rebound areas. You've got to hit people. You've got to be physical. And so that's my biggest concern, is that we continue to grow with that, because I think we could become great defensively because of our length. I mean, God darn, are we long. And that's becoming a great rebounding team. And then I think my biggest surprise is how many free throws that we've I brought that up earlier, is that we're able to get to the line against the teams we've played. And our dribble drive, we didn't play dribble drive last year. We went back to it because that's what I know and teach, and it's been really good. When you have a point guard like Brody Robinson, though, he can get by anybody. That really helps your offense.
What I talked about.
I didn't bring this up earlier, and when I just said that about Brody, I think something that maybe even is the biggest surprise more than anything that just popped in my mind is we've only turned the ball over 10 times a game. 10 times a game is what we're turning it over. The team that leads the country in turnovers per game will be between 8 and 8.5. And the team that leads the country wouldn't have started at Michigan and Purdue and Houston and those places. So that we've played that schedule and only are turning it over 10 times a game, that could be something that's really special.
Gio Mosheri here on X for the hashtag AskKampe. The preseason player of the year, of course, was Baru. Haven't seen any real crazy stat lines from Baru so far. Is this just because of the size of our opponents? Will we see more of those player of the year like things from him coming in Horizon League play?
Well, I'll tell you what, we don't worry about that kind of stuff, right? We take what we can get, and we got a lot of really good players. Like I said, we got 5 guys averaging double figures, and 1 guy 9.5. And teams like that, I mean, Alex Peters, who some of you will remember at Valpo, when Valpo had a really great basketball team, there was no question he was just an unbelievable player. He only averaged 14 a game because they played 10 guys, but yet you knew he and Kay Felder were the two best players in the league. Now, Kay did get Player of the Year that year over him, but he was, he got a lot of votes for Player of the Year, and he only averaged 14 a game. So the coaches, when they vote for that, they're going to look at the guy that affects the game the most. They don't really care about stats. And I think Baru will have a 28-12 game for sure. I mean, that's going to happen, but we don't care. We just want him to play well. We want him to be more aggressive. I didn't think he, in the first half last night, I didn't think he settled for a fadeaway. He settled for, crab dribbles instead of strong dribbles. And he's a big, strong guy, and he needs to get to the rim. And, the second half he did.
Absolutely.
He was dominant in the second half. So,
and that was going to be my point,
we got so many good players, and he knows that. And you know what Brew wants to do?
Win.
He wants to win. Right. So he's going to do what he has to do to win.
Matt, who enjoys Horizon League basketball with the hashtag AskCampe. Everyone's going to ask about what you've learned about this team and playing these big names and all of that stuff. But what has been your favorite part of the beginning of the season? Any good food stops, time with friends or family, seeing other people's family coming out to support all over the country?
Well, we went to. I think our players got a little bit of a jolt 2 nights ago when Isaac's father lives only 25 minutes from Central Florida, so we went to their house and had dinner. And I know Isaac's a Mormon, and the Mormon way of life. We walked into that house, and I've had people feed our teams before, family members and that. We walked in, and they had place settings for everybody. They had our name. You're going to sit here. The food was fantastic. They had a cookie that had Neil got a cookie with his name on it.
I did. Colin brought it back to me too.
Yeah,
I ate it. Yeah.
And it was designed as our uniform with the checkerboard down the side. I mean, it was. Those are the things that are cool, to get to know the families of the players and to see the players interact with each other, and they become friends for life. And in this day and age, when everybody's on the move, and you don't get like 4 years, like when Rosicki was here and he got married, Bud was there, and everybody that was on that team was there. You're not going to see that much anymore. But a night like that galvanizes you as a team, it's going to make us a better team too, because they know more about each other.
I missed this one from Pittsburgh, Marty. It was for Brody, but Brody's still here, sitting here eating. This is for Brody. You were not at the practice I saw in July, but since I've seen you play, I've seen few guards with a motor as high as yours. You must have been a terror on the elementary school playgrounds. What other sports did you play as a child? What other sports did you play as a child, Brody?
Football, baseball, soccer.
Football, baseball,
you didn't
soccer.
play football. Don't come at us with that, man. Flag football. All right.
What position were you, Brody, in football?
Anything they needed me to be.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that does make sense. Austin Davis, who's here in the crowd, a Kampe Show regular. What's up, Austin? Good to see you out here, my friend. Ask Kampe. I know it's early in the season, but is there anyone that you are more inclined to trust when it comes to a coach's challenge in a game? Brody's 2-0, so it's probably Brody, right?
Yeah, and Brody's the most vocal out there too. He knows. I mean, I talk to him probably more than I talk to any player on the team, so he knows he said some things to me over the time that he knows he can say whatever he wants. So, yeah, I'm going to listen. I mean, I don't like this coach's challenge. I don't like anything about the rule changes. Like there was one.
Why is that?
Well, there was one earlier in the game, and I saw it as our ball, and I yelled at the bench, look at it real quick. Well, in the NFL and in Major League Baseball, they just put their hands up and they delay the game. Or you've got in football, you've got 40 seconds.
Yeah, you got to win.
You got to win. We don't. I mean, they just walked over and they're putting the ball in. And by the time my guy got the computer and was trying to find the play, they'd already inbounded the ball. So it makes no sense. The only way you're going to be able to do this is through your eye, or a player on the floor knows that he didn't do it, and then you got to trust or believe. And I might have a player or two that I wouldn't believe. Because I got, like everybody, every team's got a guy that, no matter what, it wasn't a foul. I mean, Nate Deere knocks a guy down, stands on him, falls on him, and gets up and says, I didn't foul him.
Absolutely. Where is it, and here with the hashtag Ask Kampe, Jason McWan with the hashtag Ask Kampe. Is it reasonable to predict that Oakland will go undefeated in league play based on all the offseason additions and how this team has looked so far? I want to set the bar high. Well, that Kampe just got to win them all.
No, it's not reasonable. There's only one time in the history of the Horizon League a team's gone undefeated, and that was a Butler team that went to the Final Four. So don't expect that. Don't put that on us, please.
Colin Ludwig with the hashtag Ask Kampe. What's the status of William? I see he's listed on the official roster, but we haven't seen or heard anything from him this season.
So for people who don't know who he's asking about, we signed a young man. He was a junior college player at Indian Hills, I think. And he's a 6'7" wing, and we signed him late. When Cooper decided to leave, we had that extra scholarship, so we signed him. He had been trying to get a lot of money at a couple places, and he wasn't getting the amount of money he was wanting, so he was going to come here and prove his worth. So we signed him, and we were excited to get him. But he had gone home to France. He's from France. I think Paris, I don't know, somewhere in France. And so when school started at the end of June, he got on we went to the airport to get on, and they revoked his visa. So then we tried to get him the first week of September. He went through all the process. We helped him to re-get the visa, and he did it again, and he went to the airport again, and they still wouldn't let him on the plane. So now we've done all the work with him. He was actually taking classes. He was in class and taking summer classes online, and we had to get rid of all that and everything. So he's supposed to be here the first week of December, the second week of December. What we believe, I know we've gone through our international office on campus. We've done everything. We've done everything for him. He's done everything right. But in this day and age,
just gotta let the system play out.
I mean, he could go again, and they could say, nope, you're not leaving. So we're at that mercy, and we're not going to play him. I mean, we need the NCAA ruling, and I got, obviously you don't want to be critical of anything, but this 15-player limit has really it's not been good, and we're playing with 8 guys, the first 3-4 games. Now I didn't have to redshirt Hamoudi, and I didn't have to redshirt the Twins, but that's what's best for them. Right? Why would I think Hamoudi's going to be a really good player, and on this particular team, he's only going to play, if at all, he's going to get 3 to 5 minutes. And why would I waste a year's eligibility? Now you would say, well, he probably won't be here senior year because he'll move on, and that could be the case, but you don't know that. So we'll bring him in as a practice player in January. If he gets here in December, he'll start, and that'll really help our team having a really good player on the scout team. And then it's one kid we don't have to recruit next year. So I'm excited about getting the kid. I just hope he can get through the visa.
At Oakland U Fan on X with the hashtag Ask Kampe, with the growing amount of former international pro players entering the ranks of NCAA basketball, is this something you are looking into doing for future recruiting classes? What are your thoughts?
Well, I text LeBron, and I asked him, I mean,
you never did use your eligibility.
Right, he hasn't played at all, and it looks like, pros are going to be able to play. Brandon Weems was here, and they're best friends, and Weems can
put in a word.
He can put a word in for us. Yep. You come here and you could win a Horizon League championship, LeBron, even at age 45.
Yep, and we'll find a spot for you in the rotation.
I mean, how ridiculous is this? I mean, seriously, how ridiculous is this? No, I'm not going to partake in that. We don't have the money that it's. I mean, it's just a money grab from people, and we're not. Hopefully this is all going to get taken care of through. There's a thing called the SCORE Act. Is that what it's called? See, the SCORE Act that's going through Congress right now, and if we can get that thing passed, it's going to clean a lot of all this stuff up.
Wesley V on X. How did the MTE at Montana come together? Will we continue to see OU playing in MTEs in the future, the exempt tournaments?
Yes. So the answer to the MTE thing is only if we get paid a lot of money, and they don't. Most MTEs that in Oakland would get in, we pay them. And so, no, we will probably never play in it. I'm trying to get in one now. If you can believe this, it's in Dubai. It's in Dubai. So you all should come with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's next Thanksgiving in Dubai, if we get in, we're very close to getting in. If we do, we will make a lot of money. It's going to cost a lot of money, but we will make a lot of money. That's the only type of thing. Everything now is about, it's not about the money, it's about how much money, okay? Because that's what it's going to be. As far as the Montana thing, I am really regretting that right now.
Because Montana's really good. Yeah.
Montana just beat UNLV badly. We've got to get up at 5 in the morning on Sunday and fly to some city in Montana and then bus 3 hours to where we're playing. We play Lamar, who is really good, which we didn't know that at the time. And we play them at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and there'll probably be 7 people at the game because Montana doesn't play. They play Lamar on Monday, we play Lamar on Tuesday, and then on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. We play on Monday at 2 o'clock, then at 7 o'clock at night we play Montana. And, they get a day's rest, we don't. And why did I do that? Well, I'm really questioning that right now. We couldn't get any games. We were in an MTE that we were going to make $200,000 in, and one of the teams in it said we are not going to play Oakland. So we got dropped. And that really upset me. And then we tried to get in another one, and Marquette would not play us. And so we're going through these, and no one will play us, And it's not... I thought it was, I would call the coach and say, look, El McCabe left. We don't even know what our roster is right now. Why are you worried about us? And the answer was because we don't want to play against that zone. They don't want to play against the zone. Louisville did not want to play against the zone. That's why we got dropped out of that. And I was the most excited guy in the world because making $200,000 in an MTE is huge. And so we're stuck with nothing, and Montana offered us $40,000, and I asked, never been to Montana, and Lamar we thought would be not a very good team, and we could go and get one win for sure. And now it turns out that we played this tough schedule, and now we go right in. I mean,
what's this other MTE somewhere warm camp?
No, it was Louisville, at Cincinnati. So we got $100,000 for each of those games, and then we would have played some not very good team that would have come to Oakland the following year. So it was a perfect thing for us, and it didn't work out.
I was just checking on that.
It didn't. No, those days of going to Hawaii and the Bahamas, and those things are over.
What?
Those are over. They're over, man. You can't. Look at Brody. Brody didn't come here for cheap now.
Thanks, Brody.
He didn't come here and say, Coach, I love playing for Coach Kampe. It's not going to cost you anything. I'll just come play.
Go to the Bahamas again, Cam. Gary McCarrick with the hashtag #AskKampe. What are some fun things to know about how you... What are some things fans should know about how you create the out-of-conference schedule and conversations with other coaches? Do you concentrate on just dollars, or how teams may test your team, or a combo of both?
Well, one of the things I want to do is I always want to take my guys to Kansas, to Illinois, to Purdue. I want them to experience. I mean, I'm going to tell you guys something. Brody went to the free throw line. The Purdue fans thought Brody charged, and they called a block. And we were in that run where we had cut, we had a great first half. They bounced out to a 11-point lead. We had cut it back to 1 or 2, and we had some momentum going, and Brody went down through the middle of the paint, ran a guy over, and they called it a block. And the Purdue fans didn't like that, right? When he went to the free throw line to shoot those 2 free throws, and I'm an old guy that's been everywhere. Right? I've been in every arena. We've gotten dunked on by the best, right? And when people dunk, the place goes crazy. I had never heard it as loud when he shot those 2 free throws.
Agreed.
Any place I'd ever been. My ears were ringing. I turned around and looked at Smitty and go, can you believe this? I mean, it was the loudest arena I'd ever heard. Of course, you missed the first one. You missed the second one?
No. I missed the first one, but it's my shoulder.
Oh, because you hurt your shoulder, yeah. My bad. So I want them to experience that. That is something that Brody's going to, when he is 55 years old, he is going to still remember that and talk about it, right? I want that experience for a player. So we always want to play at Kansas, at Duke, at the iconic places in college basketball. So that's part of it. Now the rest of it is no one's playing us, all right? So who's going to play us? Well, the teams that no one wants to play. Well, the ones that no one wants to play are the top 10 teams in the country. Nobody wants to go get embarrassed on the Big Ten Network or on Fox or on Peacock. Yeah, all these places that we played on that. Nobody wants to do that, right? So those are the only teams that will play us because Minnesota's not playing us because they know what's going to happen. And a lot of people don't want to play against the zone. And because it's so unique, nobody else does it, and so why would we play you? That's what they say. So when we build the schedule now, the first thing is we're looking at iconic places to play so that my players can have that experience. And then it's really a financial thing. It's all financial. Everything I'm doing. That's why I went to Montana, because I couldn't get anything, and they gave us $40,000. And $40,000 is not a lot, but that'll pay for a player. That's the answer.
Nick Pumford asked Kampe, what's Kampe's best score on Sharp? Of course, here.
72 on khaki and 78 maybe on Sharp. From the ladies' tees.
Yeah.
I move up to I play the up tees now.
Gary McCarrick, last one here, Camp. When can fans tour the practice facility? Also wanted to know, are there any ways fans of the program can loan some of the old school gear and historical collectibles to be put on display at the practice facility?
What?
I guess they want to do for players and recruits and fans to see the stuff, like the gear through the ages and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's
kind of a good idea.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Gary, get hold of Colin, and Colin will work with you on that. All the crappy jobs Colin gets.
Yeah.
Right? Just call Colin, he'll take that. And what was the first part of that? Anybody sitting here now, we practice at 10 o'clock. Any morning. Anybody's more than welcome. Detroit's AD could come to our practice. I wouldn't care. I don't care about that stuff. You're more than welcome to come to practice. We will walk you through and show. If you haven't seen it, we'd love to walk you through it. I went through Central Florida's. How do we play last? Central Florida.
Yep.
I went through Central Florida's practice gear facility last night, or 2 nights ago. I went through their locker rooms. They didn't even close to ours. Not even close to ours. And that's a Big 12 school. Now, I'm sure they're at the bottom of the Big 12, but that's how good our practice facility is. I mean, the actual playing court is as good as any one I've ever been in. That having a window to the real world and all, it's unbelievable. So come on over, text Colin, of course, and make sure we're practicing that day. And you can come watch practice. We'll walk you through everything. We'll show you things. Brody will play you one-on-one if you want. I mean, there aren't many people that he's bigger than, so I'm sure he'll take you off.
All right, let's take the break. We'll come back and wrap this thing up real quick. Obviously, we went way past the break. We'll be back with more of the Greg Kampe Show. We're live at Patti Finnegan's on the campus of Oakland University.
In every moment, in every shared smile, OU Credit Union Visa Signature Card is there, earning 3% cash back on groceries to stock their dorm room, 2% back on fueling up the tank for the journey ahead. With a $100 welcome offer and the first year's annual fee waived, it's more than just a card. It's your partner in making every moment count, even the ones that tug at your heartstrings. Make every moment and every mile more rewarding with an OU Credit Union Visa Signature Card.
Because every athlete deserves to be treated like a pro. Henry Ford Sports Medicine.
In every moment, in every shared smile, OU Credit Union Visa Signature Card is there, earning 3% cash back on groceries to stock their dorm room, 2% back on fueling up the tank for the journey ahead. With a $100 welcome offer and the first year's annual fee waived, it's more than just a card. It's your partner in making every moment count, even the ones that tug at your heartstrings.
Of the show, happy to have everybody here with us. Real quickly, we're going to do this here. We have a drawing here. We're live at Patti Finnegan's. We're on the golf courses here at the campus of Oakland University. And we have a $50 gift card, right, to the Oakland University Golf and Learning Center. Pulling out a name right here, Kampe. You want to read it?
Say Brody Roberts.
No, we won't.
John something, I can't. Can you read it?
Oh, yeah.
That's why you gave it to me, because you couldn't read it.
Yeah, John Lowinger actually is the winner. Lots of applause there. So,
John, you win $50 gift certificate to Golf and Learning. That'll get you 2 Pro V1s, I think. Maybe 3, I'm not sure.
Maybe a sleeve, all right. Camp, we got about 3 minutes left here. Big shout out to Bobby Ellman, too, back in our Odyssey studios, holding everything down. But Eastern Michigan Friday and Camp, like, look, as a kid growing up here, I told you the story. I went to college at Oakland, and my choices were kind of like Oakland and Eastern, and I chose Oakland because they won. To me, like as an alum, as a fan, this is a big basketball game to me, Camp.
Well, anytime you play an in-state team, it's maybe not as much in recruiting anymore, because it's, we don't recruit high school kids very much, and we don't recruit to Michigan like we used to. But it's still a big deal, You want to beat the teams in the state of Michigan, and you don't really get to play them that much. We don't play Central Westerners like we used to. So and we played our worst basketball game of the season last year against Eastern, and my problem with it is, we had that real hard start, and then it was like, well, this is the game we got to win, right? And we played terrible and lost, and so we've got to make up for that. We got to come out of this, and we've got to take what we've done and understand Eastern's a really important game and play. And I'm hoping that we get Michael back for that game. There's a chance that he'll play in that game, even if it's 20 minutes or 15 minutes or 10 or whatever. There's a chance he'll play in that game, and we'll get a chance to get him into the zone and get him going. I mean, nobody can miss 5 weeks in the heat of the season and then just step in and be who they were. They're going to need some time to get better. They need some minutes. They need some game action, and we want to get that going because we need him when Fort Wayne comes here on December 3rd, because that's the targeted game on here. We got to open the conference season with a win at home. We haven't had many home games, so to play a league game at home in December, you've got to win that thing.
And Camp, it's pretty crazy to say Friday we play at Eastern, Sunday we fly out to Montana, we play those 2 games, and then when we come back here, now obviously no Campy show next Tuesday because we'll be playing Montana at the time of the show, but December 2nd we'll be back in here and we'll be rolling it for the rest of the season. But Camp, I mean, it's like a week away and we'll be talking about Purdue Fort Wayne.
Yeah, it's I mean, that's what this time is. Let's get going. I mean, let's play some games that mean things for us and find out who we are. Like I said at the beginning, I like the way it's going. I think we've got a chance to be really good, but having a chance and doing it are 2 different things. We got to get going.
Absolutely, we got to get going because I want to eat these nachos that Patti Finnegan's brought up here. Plus, we're out of time, Camp. So yeah, big thank you to Patti Finnegan. This has been awesome, and you guys showing out here tonight is unbelievable. Thanks to each and every one of you, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. We'll be back here for more of the Greg Kampe Show, brought to you by Henry Ford Health, live from Patti Finnegan's, Oakland University. Well, see you later.
In every moment, in every shared smile, OU Credit Union Visa Signature Card is there, earning 3% cash back on groceries to stock their dorm room, 2% back on fueling up the tank for the journey ahead. With a $100 welcome offer and the first year's annual fee waived, it's more than just a card. It's your partner in making every moment count, even the ones that tug at your heartstrings. Make every moment and every mile more rewarding with an OU Credit Union Visa Signature Card.
Because every athlete deserves to be treated like a pro. Henry Ford Sports Medicine.
We gon' push it to the limit, we gon' rise together, side by side to the finish. Down the ride forever, when we ride, we gon' ride together. So together we ride, certified. And together we ride, we gon' push it to the limit. We gon' rise together, side by side to the finish. Down the ride forever, when we ride, we gon' ride together. So together we ride, certified. And together we ride, so we gon' push it to the limit. We gon' rise together, side by side to the finish. Down the ride forever.